FM, Hood River in the Dells, 100.7 FM, Corvallis and Albany. It's 10:59, coming up at 11 o'clock on the recovery zone. Find out how the photo lands.
I don't know much about what's going on.
Come on, step over here, man. You just protesting down there. Have you been out here for a few hours, or what's going on?
I've been here for maybe an hour. I brought some coffee for folks and a sign, but they were told not to hang any additional signs.
Onto the overpass part, right? Yeah.
Right.
Did any cops hassle you much while you guys were there?
I actually showed up right as the police were leaving, but there's some people down here that definitely would know more about that.
Okay. And what brings you out here? You're just concerned about these issues, right?
I don't really think it's fair that anybody should be just subjected to that. I mean, if the airline itself were to impose some kind of rule like that, I could maybe see that. But for the government to say, okay, everybody that's gonna fly has to do this, doesn't, people can fly Cessnas all over the place. They can, they can ride a MAX train without this happening. So why, Amtrak all over the place, no problem. But
so why go to this extreme, right?
Such a high level of security for, something that's not really any different. I don't quite understand.
That's a good point. Well, thanks for being out here.
Messing with you.
Yeah.
You do a lot of good work.
Look at this right here.
They say, okay, only 20 people. Then they put you behind a cage.
20 what? Only
20 people can show up. And then they say, oh, no more signs. You have to be way over here.
Yeah. Rules, and we're in a cage.
Absolutely.
Let's just put us in there.
Yep.
Thank you.
No, it shut down. All like.
Hello.
What press are you with?
Indie Media.
Oh, you're Joe.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Hi,
nice
are
to meet
you?
I'm Suzanne.
Hi, Suzanne?
Suzanne.
Okay,
Ralph.
yeah.
Yeah,
How you
I'm
doing?
one of the organizers of the protest.
Right, I've been reading all your stuff.
Oh, thanks.
How you doing?
And the other guy, the tall guy over there, that's Everett Frank.
Okay, I'll stop and talk with him a minute.
We are protesting the TSA demeaning behaviors, policies against us. We have a right to fly freely. And I feel personally that this is just another measure to keep us in fear, keep us hating other people, fearful of each other, so that we'll do anything for security, for the sake of security. And I also think this is a ploy to keep us at war, to keep Americans always worried that, someone's out to kill us, so we got to keep up the fear. And it's just appalling to me that people give up their liberty for the sake of, quote, security. I mean, how far will people go? I mean, the fact that they're touching our bodies, the fact that they're taking pictures of our nude bodies, the fact that they're endangering our bodies with radiation. Some of these scanners, all of them take full body nude pictures of us, but some of them deliver radiation. Okay, so years down the road, we're going to find out that people that went through this frequently come down with tumors, cancers, pregnant women having deformities, and then that's one thing, but then the worst scenario is that these machines break. These technicians that are running them, most x-ray technicians in the medical field spend years training because that is a very serious machine. Radiation is very serious, but these technicians, they're not trained in the medical field, and they're delivering radiation to our bodies. And then the fact is it's not with our consent. And it's, I'm just worried, where's this going to lead to? Are we going to have it in our buses, stations, malls, anywhere where people gather? How far are we going to go with protecting us,
Yeah, I understand. What's next? You know, if this has now come up just to fly,
Exactly.
why don't we stop on the streets? Why don't we stop at bus stops? You know, knock on your door even.
Right. I mean,
we
this
draw
is
the line?
This is what defines a communist country. A country that has surveillance on its people constantly. People are going to be turning in people, you know, neighbors against neighbor. Are they going to be putting cameras inside our cars, cameras inside our houses? Because, oh yeah, there are crimes that happen in houses. You know, someone might abuse their child, so let's take pictures. Let's put a camera in every house. You know, I mean, how far does this surveillance go? How far does this mistrust of us go? We get to return, and also another really big factor for me is the violation of the Fourth Amendment of our Constitution, which means it gives us the right to be secure in our persons and effects, and it prohibits this searching of us unless we've committed a crime. And the touching that goes on at in these airports is way worse than a policeman would do to someone who they're questioning them. I mean, they don't touch them like that if they think they've committed a crime.
Yeah.
And if they do think they've committed a crime, which we haven't, we have no suspicion. You know, we're walking through these, you know, things. We're not breaking any law, and yet we're being. We have to do this.
Broken no law. You're traveling. That's all you're doing.
Traveling, I know. A freedom of travel is one of the marks of a free country, and yet we don't have that. So it's a violation of our Fourth Amendment, and I think if you don't speak up now, that liberty is going to be gone from every aspect of our life. And I think it's tragic that more Americans aren't standing up against this, because it's their freedom, it's the future of their children. Most of the stuff that I do in my activism is for the sake of my children. I'm trying to do all that I can to make it a better world for them, because I had way more freedoms when I was a child than they have now, and their freedoms are going to get even worse. So I feel it's my duty to stand up for justice.
You know, someone told me that this, with all the other important issues, why are we focusing on this with the wars going on? I think they're tied together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I said, it's a ploy to keep us in fear so that we will continue the war. My son just came back from Afghanistan, and he will tell you that hardly any of he knew anyone that believed that there was a good mission. They were only out there to protect each other.
And so who's their voice?
Who's their voice?
Who's the voice for the soldiers that are being thrown into this? It's us.
Exactly.
We're the voice.
Exactly.
We're their only voice.
Exactly. And people should, it's only 1% of the populations that are affected by the war. 1% are going to war, and it's families like me who are speaking out. But I think other people, if they say they support the troops and they would give them a good mission, and this is not a good mission, to go against someone who's not attacked you, has not declared war upon you, that is not supporting the truth. I mean, the troops. That is betraying the troops. And it's not supporting them.
Thanks for organizing this. Other states are doing this as well in other big cities, right?
Today, there's 27 other cities that are protesting at their airport as we are doing. And I hope that people continue protesting. Write letters to your editor. Contact your congressman. There's a bill that's Ron Paul has just put out. It's called the American Traveling Dignity Act. And it said it's going to make the TSA abide by the same laws that we citizens have to, meaning you don't go and touch someone, in their privates. That's a crime in other situations, and yet they're doing that to us. So that's a bill that we want to support.
This big banner you got holding up, what's it say?
Okay, it says...
you don't have to show it to me right now.
Okay, National Opt Out Day.
National Opt Out Day.
Opt Out Day, and what some people are asking is to choose not to fly until they change these rules.
You're going to opt out to fly until they straighten this mess out.
Yeah, I personally have to travel. My husband has to travel, so I can't opt out. But
see, it's real unfortunate that there are some people that have to travel. Their job's going to require them. They're going to be made to travel.
I know.
Where they don't have a choice.
I know.
And now they're going to be violated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not only that, but TSA is putting more Americans at risk because the people that spend time on the roads have a higher percentage chance of getting, an accident. So more people are going to be driving. Like Everett over here, he drove all the way to San Francisco and came back, you know, instead of flying there as he usually does. So that's tiring. It's a businessman having to drive because he's opting out of flying altogether. So more people are going to die on the roads because they're not flying or die from the radiation than any terrorist might have killed Americans, you know, in an airplane.
This isn't going to stop any kind of terrorist act.
It is not.
It's just it's a big
control issue. It's a control measure to keep the citizens under control.
Yeah.
And in fear.
Now you had to get a permit to come up here, right?
I did.
Is this not city property?
Well, it's Port of Portland property, and Port of Portland is a public facility, but
who did you get the permit with?
From Port of Portland.
Port of Portland. Have they been pretty nice?
They've been very nice.
Okay.
Yeah. They allow people to go inside the airport, not with these kind of signs, but
could you hold a small sign and stand inside the airport?
We used to military families speak out. Used to have a station there. We had a table out, and every Sunday we'd go out there and distribute our literature.
Do you need a permit for that?
And you have to have a permit, and there's specifications. Your sign has to be a professional sign. It has to be certain dimensions. You have to go in person and sign.
So if I wanted to protest the TSA and I just walked in there with my sign, there's they are driving by right now. I would have to pretty much have permission to go in there with any kind of a protest sign, right?
Only if you got a permit.
I mean, I would
beforehand.
Could I walk in there with a little sign and stand inside the lobby, do you think?
I think they'd probably tell you to leave, because if you want to do that, you can do it by going to the Port of Portland and call up the rep there and request a permit. It's a document, and they require you to sign it in person, like 2 weeks in advance of your protest. And as long as you abide by their rules, then you could do it. So encourage other people to do that.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know. And at least you got permission to come out here and voice your opinion.
I got permission,
Jeez.
get this,
It's
I got
ironic.
permission to have a free speech demonstration. Isn't that weird? You got to get a permit to be free speech.
We're losing everything.
Yes, we are.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Hey there.
Did that officer get out of his car and get cold a little bit?
Yeah. Hi, good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
I'm just trying to get some information for Indie Media, and I know you're one of the organizers.